Today we're going to work on building a breakout clone. I want to begin with planning the scenes, and I'm going to do this in a way that you can take these concepts and apply it to the games that you make later on, and especially your project. So let's see what it says here. In the early design phases of the game, use an eagle-eye perspective. Plan your game as a collection of scenes, each with a distinct purpose. Start by using placeholder graphics and audio, and once the game's framework is complete, then think about refining the game's look and feel. So I was thinking this breakout game could have 4 scenes: a title scene, a play game scene, a win game scene, and a lose game scene. Each one of these could have its own text, its graphics, audio, player actions. In general, the most complicated one is going to be play game, or whatever levels there are, if there would be multiple play game type levels. If you win or lose, you probably could use a mouse click or press any key to go back to the title screen. But that overall framework is just something that helps make an experience for players such that they experience something that is a bit beyond just some kind of game mechanic demo. So I wanted you to next, let's see, we go to the file that or if you don't have this file, you'll need to download it, the breakout clone assets.zip. And then when you get inside, extract this file and get into this folder, this will be the folder where you can put your game and develop it, and all the audio and art will already be in the same directory. Okay, so let's go ahead and start Gdevelop with a new project. And we're going to start with an empty game, which is right above this advanced options down at the bottom. And immediately I'm going to save this as whatever you want to name it, but it has to go into your directory with the breakout clone assets. For me, that's downloads, breakout clone assets. And I'll just do this. I mean, if you wanted to, you could say game for lab, and then later on you could do game for homework when you extend it and customize it. Okay, so game for lab. Next thing is scenes. Create a title screen scene. Double click on title, or actually single click. I'm going to use the middle mouse wheel. So this will be the area we're going to work on. I think I want to do a paddle, a ball, and then the barrier around it, and then have all the scenes have a copy of that. So first object is going to be a sprite. I'm going to actually search for the paddle here. Yes, it is when I do this, the paddle comes up right away, and I'm going to actually, you could use that text to do this. And if you're an artist, you could probably customize, do your own paddle, or make this animated with some kind of, I don't know, glowing light thing. So that's going to go somewhere near the bottom of the screen, close to the middle, but not all the way to the bottom. I did want to mention, because this is a sprite, if you were to resize this, it's going to, get kind of distorted or fuzzy, blurry. That's their way of interpreting that. So that's what sprites do. And I'm going to do that for the ball as well. I'll just type that in. Clicking Add Animation. Add. Have a ball object here. I do want to look at the hitbox for this. That means when there's a collision with the ball, it's going to be um, something that matches this artwork, and I guess that's kind of close. Okay, and you could refine that a little bit so there'd be a tiny bit of overlap. Um, and I'm going to put that just hovering kind of above this paddle. Maybe that could be a little lower. Alright, but then I'm going to do a tiled sprite, and for this is the barrier. And we'll select an image, choose a new image. Comes up a little differently. And even though default it'll be 32 by 32, you're going to be able to make it your own size. In fact, why don't we do 15 by 15? I'm planning in advance here a certain kind of size. So if I drag this into the middle of the scene, I get just a little piece, but then when I spread this out, I get all sorts of different kind of artwork things. So you don't see it when you have a barrier like really small or wide or tall. So this, I'm going to actually use some advanced, what do you call it, planning for the game. I'm going to have barriers on the left, right, and the top. So this first one's going to be at 15, 15. So that's where it starts, and then we'll have a size of 15 by 585. Okay, so you could make a new one or copy it to go to the right side. That's not what I meant to do. 15 by 15. I think I click over here. If I control click, yeah, I can get this one close to where I need it. So I'm going to use, let's say, 770 and 15 again. With it has the right size. Okay, and then I need another barrier. This one going to be up here. So let's see, that's going to be 15, 15. So it matches up with the left side, and then it has to be wide enough. So that's calculated in advance to be 770. You know, when you make your own games, you're going to need graph paper or some way to compute exact values here. So that's a nice little barrier that there's way more detail in the image below it there. But anyway, so I'm going to actually, the Z order thing, I'll talk about that more in the future, but the bigger the number is, the more it pushes towards the user. So if I set this as -1, that would go behind this one. Yeah, so the corners are a little funny, but I'm thinking that's just fine. When the game runs, you won't notice it. So that's enough. I'm going to say, well, with the different ideas for transitioning the levels before the game is in place, we could, I don't know, personalize this. Let's do the text for this. just call it a display. Or maybe text display. So this will be different from a passive. They want to have they don't want to have spaces in object names. So later on we'll have a score and maybe something else for the number of number of balls. So text underscore display. I want this kind of be large. I don't know, 36. And you want some sort of retro font or distinctive font. I don't really have one to choose from yet, so we'll do that maybe in a future one. There's certainly some open source fonts that you can use. So this, I'm going to say, for this one, it'll say get ready. Later on we can put instructions and other things, but let's just do that here. Any key would get you into the game. So let's do that where we have what do we call the different scenes? The play game, win game, lose game. You can do anything like that as long as you are kind of creating documentation as you're going. So let's call this, let's see if I can do this as play game. Yeah, this variable is like a text tag or key to get into that. Duplicate that again. Whoop. Going, clicking again right below the file menu. This is when you, let's say you win the game. And then this next one will be where if the player loses, you have that. And in order that it starts the way we expect, we'll move this up. Actually, before we go further, I wanted to mention that the quirks of this particular game engine are such where you really have to look at the scene properties when it comes to audio. So I'm thinking the moment that people transition from one scene to another, they would hear a sound. But if you do that, the next scene could stop that sound. So let's check off that. And under all of these, win game, we'll just in case we want to have sounds, lose game, edit scene properties. We're not going to stop the sound or audio, music. Yeah, do that. And also, okay, so I was rethinking this text. Get ready is probably what you do while you're playing a game. So let's change this one. I probably could have done this. So you need a title here, and whatever it is, like something that is not Breakout, because Breakout is a trademark, copyrighted name, whatever, of Atari. So you could say, you know, not Arkanoid, not Breakout, but, you know, Brick Out, or something like that, or breaking game, whatever it is that is And then why don't we say something like press space to start. So that makes a little bit more sense. And let's see if it aligns this. It doesn't align this in the center. Well, anyway, this is just placeholder. Anyway, so let's make that event happen where with the keyboard, let's take a look at this. You could do a key pressed, but if you want to play it safe, you'll do key released. And picking a specific one, it narrows down the possibility that holding down a key would cycle you between one scene and another and back to the beginning. And so that is kind of a quirk of pressing a key, like any key pressed between scenes. As long as the scenes don't have that any key pressed thing going on, that might work, but it's just a little bit safer to wait for the key to be released. Okay, so we have that, and we're going to play a sound, so that would be under audio. So let's alert the user that the player that they need to get ready that something is going to happen. And we'll use the default volume and pitch while we then change the scene. So this is other action scenes, or you could probably type in SCE in. There we are, playing the game. I guess if you have other things going on in other scenes, you could stop them. It doesn't really matter for our game. Only one of the scenes is doing something. Okay. So we have that, and let's copy this event. I think you can just right-click on the bottom part here. Do something very similar for, let's go to the project manager. If they win the game, the events here are, can we do that? Can we just paste an event? Once we have an event open, we can paste it. We can change that sound. Oh, we don't have to have a sound for going back. We can change the scene to where they are just having the title screen, which has got your own unique name. So this is perfect. What they are going to see when they win is some congratulatory message. I don't know, perfect. With press space. To play again. And then the same thing when they lose. You wait till they do that, and the idea here was that they go back to the title screen, actually. Oh yeah, that's right. There's no sound. When they're playing the game, actually, rather than when they're playing the game, we could make code to detect whether they win or lost and then put them over here. But rather than doing that, actually, I want to go back and undo this. I want to change the order of this. Add an action. Let's do a sound. Because at the moment this, how do I say this? Add a new event is what I guess I want, where at the beginning of the scene, advanced, where are we with the beginning of this? Oh, scene. Under scene, at the beginning of the scene. This is what I was thinking. That's where you do the sound, other actions for audio. So we'll add an audio. Is this the one where they lose? Let's go back here. Yeah, if they lose the game, there's that lose sound. And we don't want to loop it, but then after they see something, and maybe you could add more animation or something else, but it's pretty much serves the job of indicating what happened both with the text and the audio and maybe some graphics that you add later. So yeah, so at the beginning of the scene, we're gonna, when they win, we're gonna choose a new file. We'll do win. Yeah. Okay. So to tie this all together, when they're playing the game, here's a scene. Well, this one, it does make sense to say get ready. And how about press space to launch the ball. Okay, that's more making sense. Okay, I got pretty much all the placeholder information there. Here, when they press the space, so we're going to have more things, but with this keyboard, let's just say that add action, we're going to delete this text display. And we'll do an audio as if the ball is going to launch. We're not really going to launch it yet, but let's play the sound for launching that ball. Paddle launch ball. Okay. And then they're going to be developer only cheat keys to win or lose. Why don't we, here it may not really matter how you do the key event. Under keyboard, let's do released again just to be safe. I'm going to do just randomly picking the letter O is, let's say that's going to change your scene to winning. And then really similar to this, you can just click here and type another letter. I'm going to randomly pick P because it's next to O. And this is a way to cheat to quickly get to the lose game screen. Yeah. Okay, I would save everything, and then we'll do some testing. Get ready, press space to launch the ball, and that's the sound of that ball launching. It's not moving yet. I press space again I'll have to fix that later, um, because you can only do that if you're launching the ball. So there'll be some more logic for that. Okay, let's do the letter O. Okay, perfect. Press place space to play again. I press space. Get ready. And then the letter P. Oh, I forgot the lose game message. But the sound is correct. So yes, that's a minor thing here. Forgot to... so whatever you want to put for a message to maybe encourage them to do better next time, or simply say game over and press space to, what did I say before? Restart, I think. Okay, so there's certainly more that you could do with the text, separate stuff out, align things, but this is the framework that you're going to want to have for just about any game. Okay, so that's it for this part, and next time we'll actually get the bricks in and move the ball around and the paddle.